Welcome to Night Train Off-Road, where we'll be going over off-road accessories for the 2017 plus Nissan Armada. Today we'll be going over skid plates, otherwise known in Australia as bash plates. We have purchased some booze bash plates from Luso Overland. I hope I pronounced your name right, sorry if I didn't. We'll also be going over several other options that are currently available and not available for this car, including rock sliders, front bumper, lift kits, roof rack, and rear bumper. Now first off, you need to realize that this car and the Australian Spec Patrol are about 95% the same car. However, there are lots of differences. First one going with this video is the front radiator skid plate and the Australian one do not match spec. So all these skid plates that come in are going to be 3-piece instead of 4-piece sets, but you still use the first one. The first factory one, it is thinner, but it is metal. Alright, so I got these purchased at Luso Overland. Really great price. I got the steel versus the aluminum, or aluminium as they call it in Australia, because hey, it's steel. It's only 18 pounds heavier. I don't care about weight, and you know, who talks about the riddle of aluminum? No one. So these were packaged very nicely. They come in 2 packages. One holds the sump and the transmission, the other one's for the transfer case. They were all sealed up real good with the original cardboard from the Australia, with more cardboard on top of that. As you can tell in the pictures, it's all done pretty well, and it was also all free shipping, which is really nice for the price and the weight. You do have to install riv nuts, which they do give you a tool and an example of one, and 4 riv nuts. You only need to use 2, but we'll see how that goes later. But it's pretty straightforward, but I did just suck it up and I bought the Harbor Freight riv nut tool. It was really easy. It's about 50 bucks. I figure I might use it again, you know, in like 10 years or something. All the steps in the directions are pretty clear and straightforward. You just loosen the factory skid plate, take them out, the 2 on the very rear of it. They're a little sunk in. Be careful. The edges of that area is sharp. My finger learned that. And you take those all the way out, and then they want you to do the riv nuts next. So in the picture, in the instructions that come with it, it shows where they're at in the Australian model. The holes, there's not the same amount of holes as in the Australian picture of the cross member versus the United States version of the Armada. So you can't just count the holes. It's not that hard to do. Of course, I messed it up because in the instructions it says for the next thing to do after you do that, after you put the nuts in, is to put up the transmission one. So I just held up the transmission and kind of eyeballed it and found the 2 holes that measured 205 millimeters, or about 9.5 inches, and did those, which was stupid and an idiot move, when you should have just held the sump up to the area where it connects to the front skid plate, and the holes are right there in front of your face. Right here, this is where the transmission ends, and you just meet the holes. It's really easy. It lines right up. Just follow the instructions, and here's what the whole thing looks like. The first 2 plates that you put in, the sump and the transmission plate, where it connects to the front skid plate. This is the transfer case right here. You'll notice it's got that little plate. Everything explained really easy, and you'll also notice there's a lot of different size bolts in this section. It's not complicated at all. Everything fits in one spot. This next thing is right where that little extra piece of metal connects to under the car. It's really easy to find. There's only one spot that even looks like that, and there are 2 holes. One's threaded. It comes with a finely threaded shorter bolt, and then a longer one. Instructions are real easy. No big deal. Where you do the end of the transfer case set is right by the exhaust, and it is right right on the exhaust on one of them. It explains it in the instructions. One of the bolts is smaller. Just trying to take a look and see how much room you got going on with. And I put this part with an iPad, so it was kind of hard to get the angles to show what you can see, but I tried to get the best I could get. It's real easy. The hardest part is just really getting that first one, the short one that's right under the exhaust pipe right there. Alright, so this is an attempt at showing what it looks like installed. Like I said, it wasn't too bad. Besides the rib nut issue, but you know, no big deal. I have noticed that after installation, there is a little bit of kind of reverberation on the driver's side. You can feel it in your feet. It's a little bit louder when you start it up and take it through the gears, low gears. It's not bad. You can't hear it from the outside. It's just a little something I noticed. So, front bumper options. There's a few, not many, to my knowledge. First one's the dash bumper, the Predator bumper. Then CALMINI does make a bumper, supposedly. I've never seen one out in the wild, but he did do it in the Mountain Patrol, I think it was called, concept car. And a company called Wham Bumpers is supposedly making some right now. They have made a custom one for somebody before. But I noticed in the Facebook group that they're asking if anybody lives around Phoenix, Arizona, if they could bring their Armada in, they can give them a deal on the one they're supposed to be making. Now, the dash one is nice. It's about $2,000. However, it does not have this sensor bracket area right here for the cruise control. Their newer versions do that they have in Australia. It's usually a little lower. It's got its own built-in bracket where it goes in right there. The version they brought over didn't have that. The version they brought over also doesn't have the holes for these. You have to drill those out yourself. And I think all their versions, you have to have a different set of fog lights to fit in there. It's a very nice bumper though. It looks pretty cool. But for like $2,000, you know, I want to have this area for that cruise control sensor, sonar, radar, whatever there. Their newer ones do have it. And the Wham one, it looks pretty good too. It looks more like the CALMINI style of the custom one they did for a guy. Roof rack. I know Dash has one at Nistec. It looks pretty cool. It's about a 3/4 size roof rack. It doesn't cover up the window on top. So for lift kits, I'm gonna tell you right now, there is no lift kit that involves shocks and springs that goes into alignment in the rear right now, as of August 2022. There are not upper control arms for the rear that adjust enough for it to be in alignment. People are working on it, so I don't know. But there is the CALMINI one. It is just a body lift. It does not do anything besides make the car taller. And the system that they're in here right now, this is the air compressor for it. And it has air shocks on it. The air shocks just raise the rear end if you put weight by towing on it. That's all it does. You can adjust them, make it a little bit taller. Everybody says it rides like crap, so I wouldn't do it. And also with the CALMINI, all I've ever heard is people getting the 3-inch lift. There is a 6-inch lift. I'm pretty sure you use that in that Mountain Patrol concept, but it's one of those things where you have to get a hold of him. He has to custom make it for you, so look him up if you're curious about that. Over here, one company is doing Z1 off-road out of Atlanta. It has a lot of suspension components. They don't guarantee that they'll fit, but they have them. I've seen some people get those. It adds about 4 inches of lift to the vehicle, and the rear ends will not align. They don't have upper control arms with enough adjustments for the rear to make them align yet. People are working on them supposedly. Now they'll fit in the front if you use aftermarket Titan ones. All right, rock sliders. You can't go off-roading with these right here. They will bend up instantly. There are no rock sliders available in the United States, to my knowledge. But I have heard of people getting Toyota Tacoma ones that you can weld on yourself. They are a little bit shorter, but you kind of split the difference on both ends, and you can do that. If somebody'd ship them over, they're pretty much bolt-on brackets. It'd be pretty cool if they did. All right, so there was a guy of that Facebook group that did buy a Dash rear bar. Got it shipped from Australia. It probably cost $2,000 to ship it. Probably cost him $2,000 just to buy it. And when he bought it, it did not fit because of the bowing out. Because it bows out to go to this receiver hitch right here. And that's due to make it stronger. so it could tow the 8,500 pounds it's rated for, or some kind of safety stuff. I don't know. But anyway, this bows out. It doesn't go straight across. So what he had to do is literally saw off the part where it bows, re-weld it straight, gets rid of all this. All this is gone. It's just a straight metal bar across here on the frame. And then he had to purchase an Australian spec rear bumper cover. Since this one bows out, they're not the same. Because even over there, you have to cut this to fit the line of your bar. So he had to buy that, get that shipped over to, then manually cut it to fit. So he probably spent over $4,000 just getting that, and he lost the use of this. So somebody would just have to make one custom or change a lot from the dash one to make it work over here. All right, so I hope this janky video gave you a little bit of information about what's going on with these vehicles right now. These are good vehicles. They do have a few little issues. I'll probably do a video on those later, with battery drain or lights going out on the dash. Also, cylinder 7 being messed up in some of the engines. Mine doesn't have that, luckily. This is a 2019 April manufactured 4x4 Armada, which I got in early 2021, right before O'Brandon got a hold of the economy super good and made the used car market crazy as it is. So I got a fairly good deal on it, and I'm planning on keeping this a real long time. I'll probably get parts as they come in around here and there. I'll probably get some all-terrains as soon as these tires wear out, because this is a 99.97% daily driver. So I don't off-road with it much yet because, well, I don't want to tear it up because I don't have the right components yet. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the video.